Hey, Chalkin History friends, how are you today? It is Monday. Whew. Wow, you guys, I had a great week last week. My kids came, 2 of my 3 kids came. My daughter brought her fur baby, and then my daughter's husband flew in for the weekend, so he had a very action-packed, quick weekend. And then they all went home yesterday, so sad. So it's quiet again in the house, but we really had a great time together. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Let's see if we are live. Say hello as you hop on. Today we are going to work on the geometric ocean prints. This is part of the 25% off sale. They brought back a ton of old transfers. A lot of holiday ones too, a lot of Christmas type or winter type transfers. Came back, sorry. My eye is feeling like it has something in it all of a sudden. So yeah, go check that out. That ends the 29th, I want to say. So it's coming up, just a few more days. Let's dig in. We're going to play with this, but yet we're going to open up our wood risers. I haven't played with these yet. I haven't played with this. We did get a chance to play with it. I want to say in June when I went to ChalkCon. That's our summer convention where we all get together and have fun. So they introduced it back then, and I've just been waiting for the right time and the right transfer to use, and I figured it out. So we're going to take these out. So what I did to this, I whitewashed it with our chalk paste. With just white chalk paste, okay? So we're gonna whitewash the rest of these, and then we will chalk on them. They don't differ in height, they just differ in size of the circle, okay? So how do you whitewash? You get your paste, and I need that. This is, it's sealed up on itself, because we only used a little bit. All right, so we're gonna grab our scissors, open that up, and then I'm just going to squirt a little bit on there, and I'm going to grab a wipe, and we're going to paint with the wipe. All right, so we're going to get this, just kind of wrap it around my finger. You could use a brush, like we could use, there's no problem with using a foam brush. Let's get it nice and wet. So we'll do the foam brush on one, and then we'll do the wipe on the second one. But you really just pretty much just kind of spread that on. Simple, 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 nothing to it. Okay, do the sides. I may need to get more paste, but basically you just kind of spread it on. It should be wet though. It should be thinned out with water so that you get that the rustic, distressed look. Okay. And if you want a little bit darker, you would add a little more white to it. I am going to grab, I have an old tray with white in it that has dried up But we're gonna kind of squirt that. I'm also gonna squirt this in here. And I'm gonna mix that up a little bit. Get that nice and watered down. Because we're gonna do the whole thing. We're gonna do the legs, the bottom, top, all of it. Okay. Let me give it some more because we don't want it too white. I really do like it watered down. What's everybody doing on this Monday? It has rained and poured all day long. It goes in spurts where it comes down. Ooh, like cats and dogs. Just craziness. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, I dripped on my tray or my riser, so we're gonna work that in. Okay. Look how easy that was. So easy. All right, now we're gonna go around the edges. We're gonna paint it on. This is what I love about our paste. It's so versatile in its uses. All right, so you paint that on. I'm gonna take my wipe. Kind of wipe it in. You want all that wood grain to show, so you definitely want to take some of that off. Okay. I feel like it's very dark in the house today too. It's been cloudy all day. All day long. Okay. I think I've gone around. Get that up. Now we're going to turn it over. And we'll work on this side. Let's just get some on our brush, brush it through. All over the legs. Around. Get it all coated and then we'll take off the excess. All right, let's see. Let's see, did I do that? It's a little more white on the back side of that one, so we'll just wipe this off a little bit here. All right, I think I got it all. Grab another wipe. All right, and then we're going to wipe that off. Not all of it, just most of it. If you need to add it, go ahead and add some. There we go. I think that's good. That'll work. put this one aside to dry. And then we'll bring our little guy over. Spray him. Pick up some more paste. Go around the edges. Let's add some more water. Mix that up a little bit. All right, finish the sides up here, and then we'll attack the bottom. Wipe that off. I'm going to try a paper towel for that one. Plus that kind of dries it then too at the same time a little bit. Okay, let's attack the bottom. Go ahead and spray. Alright, almost done. Makes it look like driftwood. Alright, let's take the paper towel to it. Not trying to take it all off, just a little bit, just giving it that distressed look. This looks whiter, so I may do a second coat on the other two. Let's add a little more white paste. And then let's water that down. All right, let's just do the top. Try to get them to match. That's probably a lot better. Okay, let's do this one. Just lightly dab that one. There we go. I think that's better. This one could even use a little bit more. And then what we'll do is we'll dry them and then we will wax them. clean up our mess. All right, this is what I do to seal. I bring it together and then I just go along the edge. Clean up the edges and then it'll seal itself, it'll dry, and then when you want to use the rest, you just clip off the edge. All right, let's get these dry. You could also sand them after you paint them. Like let's say you used acrylic paint, you could sand them to give them that rustic touch. You can stain them. That works too. I might make them a little more white. Let's see. We can add a little more white to it. Just feel like that one's a little whiter. All right, put that one there. Let's pick up a little more white here. Go with the grain. I think that's better. All right. All right, let's get this dry. Definitely have to wax because when you wet the wood, the little fibers in the wood start to kind of expand. So it's a little bit of a rough texture. You can sand if you want. That could potentially take off some of the color. We also have a rectangle riser. I think it's like about a 6-inch by 9-inch. I thought with the 3 designs we would work with the 3 risers today. This is all in one set. Links for the products are in the video description. Or you can reach out if you can't find it. All right, let's wax. All right, let's grab some wax. I'm going to go in all kinds of directions so it gets into all those nooks and crannies of the green. Feels good. Let's do the next one. Definitely want to make sure you're applying a decent amount. And then buff it off. Let's turn this the other way. All right, I'm going to put on some more light. I feel like we're a little dark. There we go. All right, and then the big guy. Let's use the other paper towel here. Ouch. Ouch. All right. Okay. Now I am going to figure out what pattern I want on each one. So let's open our transfer. And cut these apart. All right. All right, I think I'm going to do the fish on the big one, and these patterns are repeatable. So you can see like this fish finishes here. So once you lay it down, or if you were to start in the middle, then you can bring that up to finish the pattern up and down. So we'll do that with the fish. I think I'm gonna make the waves on the little guy, and then we will do the starfish on that one. And we're also going to do hot mess today. We're going to incorporate all kinds of coastal colors. I have couture teal, ocean, eucalyptus, and storm. And we're just going to spread it out. So let's see where we want to start with this skin. Let's start about, I guess let's try to get as much as we can. Starting up here. Let's see, take him to the edge. I'm taking that guy up to the edge there. Okay, I think that's good. Let's press that down. And we have to open all these, make sure they're nice and creamy. You want to knead them like an icing packet. Okay, we're going to start at the bottom, and I'm just going to clip the corners. And this one we used already, and it's sealed, so we want to clip off the dry part so that we can get that out. Let's see if we did enough. Oop, yep, there it sneaks out. Okay, so what we're going to do is just kind of drizzle it on there, make a whole mess with it, and then we will take whatever excess off. Oh, let's get a paper towel here. And then we'll have to throw our excess away because you can't put it back anywhere. There we go, there's that one. All right. I feel like I have a lot left on that one. All right, let's do eucalyptus. All right. Now we're going to take a squeegee and I'm just going to kind of mix it and just kind of make a mess of it. Okay, so we're just going to swirl. You can do it with your fingers. You can do it however you would like. If you do it with your fingers, it's kind of like finger painting. You just kind of swirl it around. Make sure you're staying on your transfer. Make sure you've got those edges. And then, like I said, get that excess off. And we're just going to put it on our paper towel. And we're going to take our excess off. And see how it turns out. Kind of smooth out any lines if you see any lines. All right, here's the reveal. Ooh, that's fun. I like that. That turned out cute. All right. Let's go ahead and get that dry, and then we're going to put down the transfer gun, and we're just going to match up where the fish ends, where they end, and where they begin. And do it again. All right, let's start it again here. Now, if it's too hard to tell, you can wash the transfer. I might, just might, wipe it a little bit just at the top so I can line everything up. Just gonna take our paper towel to it here. See if that helps at all. It may or may not. Let's see if we can line this back up. I'm going to go off of that tail and that tail. Those will be the two that I'm really trying to line up here. Let's see here. There's that. That and there, I think that should do it. Okay, make sure we really pat that down. Do the same thing with the chalk paste. Just kind of placing little dots all over. Okay, let's get the blue. Ocean Mist. I love Ocean Mist. Kind of came out in a big old blob there. Okay, and then last, our teal. Gotta get that teal in there. If that's not coastal, I don't know what is. Okay, same thing. Grab your squeegee. I'm gonna kind of just wipe it off a little bit. And we're gonna swirl it around. Okay, really make sure you're staying on your transfer. Don't want to go off because you don't want to go on where you've already chalked. All right, let's get that excess off. Make sure you've chalked the entire thing. With the previous chalk being left on the transfer, it's kind of hard to see if you've gone over that area. So you do want to make sure you chalked it. Okay. And those edges for sure. All right, let's see the final review. Hi, Neva. I think I'm in my coastal era. Yay, oh no, the middle ones didn't go down pretty much here. So let's grab some of our excess here. Where was that? Just going over those, try to really push that through that silk screen here. Some of these patterns are very fine. There we go. How fun are those? Yep, I am in my coastal era. I'm in my low country era. How fun are those, guys? Fun. All right, let's switch this guy out. And bring this guy in. He feels still a little damp, so we're going to see how this goes. We're going to see. We will see. Okay. Let's start this guy. Start him right here. right, you can see there's a lot of silk screen, so you really want to make sure wherever there is just the vinyl material that is sticking down. Okay. I think I'm going to do some blending, like kind of some ombre type look today to this one. All right, so let's just put a layer of paste back and forth. Let's do that guy. Can you do that across there? Let's finish it off with our ocean mist. All right, and then I'm just going to kind of keep sweeping back and forth. Kind of just blending all those colors in. Switch it a little bit. Again, we gotta offload some of that excess. It's a bummer we have to not use it all, but my gosh, it'll look so cool in the end. So we're kind of doing an ombre kind of look to this one. Lift. Ooh, that looks pretty cool. Now that one's pretty cool. What I like about this transfer is also it is repeatable, so you can kind of just change it up a little bit and match the waves. Pretty neat. That would be kind of cool just to keep it like that too. All right, let's see if we turn this, if we can match the waves. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's see. I think we have to keep the same side going. So let's see. I know I got some down there, but I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be okay. All right, so let's line this up. Here. And here, so you want to give the same amount of space in between your waves. All right, put that down. Again, same thing. So we're going to start with, you know what, we're just going to go teal here. Go a little bit of this guy here. Let's put the storm in there in the middle and finish it out with ocean mist. Okay, again, offload that squeegee and just start filling that in. I'm gonna offload a little bit of that. Really press hard. We want to get that chalk paste to go through that silk screen mesh, and we want to get all of our excess off. All right, let's put that down. I am making a mess. Ooh, oh my gosh, you guys, I love this. That turned out so good. How fun is that? All right, that is riser number 2. Now we're gonna do our cute little starfish. Let's get this guy off. And again, this is a repeatable transfer. So let's start here. So that all of our edges are taken care of here. So then we'll start, this little guy will end up being that guy. So we'll pull it down. All right, same thing, hot mess, or we can take all of this mess and just use that. Let's try that. We may not get all the colors that we want in here, but we'll get most of them. Why waste paste, right? All right, if we wanted to, we could add, like if you wanted to add a little more blue or something in there, let's try that. We can do a little dollop there, just to add a little bit, okay? And then just kind of go over that starfish lightly. And then sweep it through. There we go. All right, let's see. Fun. The blue didn't really come through, but that's okay. I love it anyway. Aren't they cute? They are the cutest little things. All right, so wherever that guy ended, we need to line that up and that guy. So let's get that dry first. Aren't those fun? Hi, Cynthia. I did wax mine. I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure I did wax mine. I wax all my wood. It doesn't matter what it is. I wax it. I just feel like it transfers better. Flip it over and try it. Make sure it transfers nice and clean. And then you want to work fast, right? So you don't want it sitting too long. So chalk on, chalk off, and then pull that transfer. All right, let's see if we can line this guy up here. Just trying to line that guy up and that guy. These guys over here. All right, I think we got it. Make sure that is nice and flat. Let's go ahead and scoop up our leftovers. Sure we got it all. Really trying to push it through because I feel like my paste is drying in there, so I may wipe this one down to do our last section. Okay. The more you work with paste, you're actually putting a layer of air on top of it. Yeah, see, it was getting dirty on me. So some of it took, some of it didn't. I'm okay with that, but we will clean this real quick. Let's just get a wipe. Wipe it up a little bit. I'm not worried about the staining right now. I just want to get that paste out of there. So we're going to just somewhat clean it. Look at all that paste that came through. Let's just lay that over. Try to clean out some of that screen. Get one more wipe. Here we go. Okay, let's get that wiped off here. And then we're just going to quickly dry it with a paper towel, because this is a very soppy wipe. Take this off. Wipe the top part. Sorry, I am wiggling you guys. This table is not very sturdy. Okay. And then we're going to line it up again. Let's get that dry though. Make sure it's dry. And then finish the board up. I also have some really, it's like, I want to say 1/2 inch to a 3/4 inch rope that I might do around the edge. We'll see. Okay, let's get this on. And then we have to match up that guy. I think it's this guy. Let's see. Okay, I think that's it right there. And then we're going to try to find a nice, good mix of color here. All right, just that little bit is all we needed. All right. Ta-da-da. So cute. Oh my goodness. How cute is that? That had a lot more teal in it. How fun are these risers? All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to show you how I seal these paste packets. So let's get a wipe. And I'm at the bottom of the tub, so it's so wet. I'm going to squeeze that out. Okay. So I take my, if there's a good amount left, I will save them. If not, I don't. But you see it's a mess, so I take my wipe, and I just go along the edge. Okay? I just flatten it. It gets whatever excess out on there, and then I set it aside. It will dry and it will seal itself. Because you can't really shove it back in there, so I just kind of flatten it. Once it's dry, I can really clean up the packet. I just kind of go across the edge and flatten it. Just go across the edge, just like that. Okay. All right, this guy is a mess. We'll put it in our tray. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of that. All right, guys, so we got our little starfish, our little wave pattern, and our fishies. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? I love them. Can't wait to use them. What do you guys think? Do you have a favorite? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, thanks so much for showing up tonight. It is dinner time, so maybe you're sitting down to dinner or you're making dinner.